Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 EU Championship. We're here today for the Netherlands Grand Prix. I slowed that down and I still made a mistake. Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship. The Netherlands Grand Prix round 9 out of 16, the second half of the season. Currently, Mizzy taking the top spot. I was going to say Cohen for this home Grand Prix, but no. He's just dropped down. Pursuit bumped himself up. Mizzy on top by quite a margin at the moment. That's going to be a 6/10 gap just over that Cohen needs to get that. And that might not even be good enough for pole because we've still got 8 minutes left on the clock to have a go at getting the fastest lap of the session. Of course, that's what you need. Will Buxton quote, if you get pole position, you start first. Now, through turn 7, let's go with Cohen and see as he's up by a 10th. Still needs a little bit more. He needs about 5 more just to try and have a look at pole position as of now. Maybe he made a mistake in the middle sector or the final sector, we don't know. We will continue as we go through the third sector. DRS available, and that's just a straight before you get to that sector line. Look at that delta. It is almost 3/10, so we're getting there, and the session will carry on. Of course, the track will get a little bit faster. Final 2 corners we go now with the Williams car on the inside. A bit of a moment, but not because of the other car. DRS available as they exit the final corner. The run might have been slightly compromised, but still will be an improvement. Just under 3.5 tenths, and that is P2 at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good improvement up for Cohen, but Mizzy seems to have set an absolutely fantastic team. I mean, a 10-3. That is ultra competitive from Mizzy. He seems to have picked up the pace quite a lot over the last few races, and he, with his new wheel, seems to be improving race on race, and now's his best chance at winning a race, because this track, I'm guessing you know, is a very difficult one to overtake. Like Singapore, you're only one real possible overtaking zone if you're on the same tyres, and that's into turn 1, so the guys are going to really struggle. People with running low downforce setups might be benefited a little bit, but overall, if you've got the pace like Mizzy and Cohen are showing at the moment, I don't think it'll be too challenging for them to keep track position.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very tricky circuit to get your head around. This guy, Dave Raptors, he got a race distance in yesterday, so he has a nice bit of practice and ready to go. Can he try and win the race? His teammate will not be here today. That's the championship leader, Robbo. Neither will. This is Vale, who's very competitive in the championship. This is a chance for Pursoon to have a look at taking the lead. In the standings, Cohen to catch up. Mizzy on his return after a bit of a break. Can he try and claw his way back? He's going to need to do a hell of a lot to have another look and hope that there's a couple of issues for a few drivers. Although, this is Vale. Robbo not turning up today. It is a heck of a shame to see them go, but that's what Mizzy needs to get those extra points. That is Dave Raptors making a big mistake, keeping it in a straight line just about somehow. Didn't even invalidate, despite going that far off the circuit. It's not going to be an improvement lap, which is a heck of a shame. P4 at the moment, they still got time to go for one final lap, I'm sure.
Yeah, that fast turn 7, I'm going to try and pronounce the Dutch name for it because it's a very interesting name, but
Skybook,
yeah,
I think it is.
Skybook.
More or less,
yeah.
more or less.
I was thinking the last corner. Yeah, so that fast right-hander's going to catch out a lot of people. You need to really get it right. You need to back off, then press accelerator fully, so you can get that rotation, but also have the speed to carry through to the rest of the lap. But I mean, you can't really do much. You need to get it pinpoint perfect every lap, and that's the difficult part of this track. I mean, this whole track's difficult. Turn 1, on the exit at least, you can see a lot of people losing the back end, demonstrated in the race by Andrews. And you also turn, as I said, the fast right-hander. You seem to just really struggle. If you get onto that curb a bit too much, you might see yourself in the wall. So, you know, you really need to be cautious around this track, not abusing the curbs too much. You need to respect the limits. And if you go over them, it's very easy to make a mistake and potentially, you know, crash out. And that's not what you want, because if you make a mistake, this track's so hard to overtake, and if you lose a bit of time, so we see Gibby going for a bit of a spin, blocking the pit lane, let's hope he doesn't get disqualified. That, yeah, you just, as I said, turn 1 as well, you need to respect the limits, otherwise, like, that will happen, which is Gibby right there.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very difficult circuit to get your head around, as I said earlier on, and that does make qualifying very intense and crucial, because most circuits, you know, it's raceable, you can make your way through the grid, but this time it's not. You have to get a good qualifying position to give yourself the best chance, and this is a circuit that highlights that even more so. Frantic goes for what would be maybe their final run. It's got a short lap, so they might have another chance, but they won't have another chance as they do unfortunately make a mistake on the exit of turn 1, like Gibby did, and that is going to be their qualifying session over. They only got to 6th place in the end. They had a little bit more time to try and get to Gilly. It's not the way you want qualifying to go, and for the other AlphaTauri of Pursoon in P3 makes a mistake at the same corner that Dave Raptors did, and that, unfortunately for them, is going to be very difficult for them to get another lap in. They'll have a lap to try and get their tyres warmed up again and save a bit of ERS. That's why they're going very slowly, as you may see, but they're probably on the limit of being able to go in and out again. I don't think they would have time to go in and out again.
Well, if he wants to go in and out again, he's going to have to push it a lot more than he's doing right now. 3 minutes? This track's about on about lap 115, 114, so he can probably make it around, but if he doesn't, then that's going to be P3 is the best he's going to get. It could only go down for a hill from here. And the track evolution, must I say, in this track, is surprisingly a bit better than what other tracks would normally be. And you may think, why is that surprising? It's because it's a shorter track, and that means there's less rubber to be put down, because people are still doing the same amount of laps on the track, but obviously since there's less distance, there's less place to gain time. But in a way, it's weird how you're able to just find so much time. So these guys, especially in the last runs, and speaking of, Gilly's actually on a last run at the moment, I'm sure, which is very odd. He usually retires very early. He's going to reap the benefits of this. Coming through the middle sector, he's gone a bit wide there. If he can just get the power down nicely, get the DRS open and coming onto the back straight, he could be on for a good position here, especially around this track, which benefits maybe just, of course, track position. It's going to help him a lot coming through the last corner now, the penultimate, sorry, and then through the last corner of the fast banked corner, flat out to the line. Gibby sits a 10-0, that's incredible from him, but Gilly up to the line, it's only 11-0, and it puts him ahead of Dave Raptor, so he's not doing too bad for himself.
Yeah, not terrible. We've got a lot of people in the pit lane, and they're only just about going out, so they're going to be pushing. We could get some traffic, unfortunately, for those guys. We'll have to wait and see, though. Curran going to go for his final run very, very shortly. We've got a Williams and a Red Bull up ahead. I believe that's JJ, as... yeah, this is Curran is just there. So JJ, they're on an outlap. Lots of people on an outlap. I think we'll go with the home man to go for the final run of the session and see what he can get done. I think he can possibly take us through that lap. Like I said, lots of traffic. It's going to be very, very difficult. And with not too long on the clock left, you're going to have to find your place on the circuit very, very quickly. Curran is heading into the final sector now, and I'll pass it over to you, Zingy.
Yeah, Cohen in the last sector now, he's going to be ready to start his final lap, 100% ERS. He's going to be going full beans here to try and get pole position. He's taking 6 10s to Mezzi, who's in P1. He's been flying the whole time. Cohen's usually the pace setter in qualifying, but now he's going to be the hunter, chasing down Mizzy for that time. Into turn 1 now, 4th gear. You want to get in the power as early as you possibly can without losing the car. Turn 2 now, you want to keep it as close to the curb without clipping it, otherwise it will throw you off. The bank corner, you can get on the accelerator so early, considering how banked it is. And now, coming through the fast left and right, and you need to just keep it flat through here. Qualifying is over. This is definitely his last run. 200s down during the first sector. He needs to run it out wide onto the curb, not too much though, and he's done that nicely. Coming through now, you don't want to go into the second part of the curb, otherwise it will spit you out and put you into the wall. He's keeping good momentum through this part. Minimum speed is key here to keep up fully, and he loses the back end a little bit, but he manages to get the power planted down. Now coming into the last sector now, what's the time? It's only 300s down. He's not improving at all. Mizzy looks like he's going to get pole position unless anyone else can do anything about it. Coming through into the penultimate corner, Mercedes moves out the way. He clips the apex nicely, runs onto the curb nicely. Now with the banked final corner, he's going to go up to the line with minimal battery left, and let's see the lap time. I don't think it's going to be pole. Mizzy set a fantastic time. It's a 10th improvement, and it's only P2. 5 tenths to Mizzy. Pursuing in the wall, so he's not going to set an improvement in lap time. Dave Raptors, let's see what he does in his final run. He puts it P4, slots it back ahead of Gilly. That's it for qualifying.
Indeed, Pursuit making a mistake early on in their lap, so they weren't able to improve. Unfortunately, Mizzy takes a phenomenal pole position, a 10.0. Curran in P2, and then Pursuit in P3, the two championship rivals. Pursuit is right there. Curran trying to make his way back. Mizzy, though, is on the charge. He took a win at the first round in Monza. Had a couple of bad races, then that time away, of course. So can he get the momentum going again? Mizzy takes pole position, Curran in P2, Pursuit in P3. This is the rest of the grid. We'll try and get through the race director, unlike yesterday. I hope we can. There we go. And we'll see you in a bit for the race. Ready, hold, go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? Will Mizzy be able to secure a good launch? Cohen's right there, there's contact as Mizzy makes a mistake. He's gonna be possibly swarmed by the cars behind Dave Raptors to the inside. Phenomenal stuff from Cohen. It's 3-1 with Gilly, Rexty, and I believe that's Frantic. They gotta be careful. Oh, Mizzy's round, he's lost the car. I do not believe it. More problems, and now that's both Mercedes at the back of the grid after the first few corners, not even done with the first sector. Cohen leads the way, Dave Raptors, Pursoon in P3, and Rexty into P4 after an amazing start for them. Really, really well done. Medium tires for a lot of these guys. Oh, no, 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 no. Dave Raptors also round on the opening lap. It's so, so treacherous, and it's catching a lot of people out. Larlock on the inside as Nifojan swoops around already up to P6. Heish is following closely behind as well. The home ground are cheering them on, and they've got that extra boost. A virtual safety car is deployed.
What a start from Rexty and making his way. I don't even know where he started. I know it was in the mid pack somewhere, but he shot all the way up to P3. Mizzy lost the back end off the start and then hit Cone, and he's got a lot of front wing damage, so he's going to have to come in for a replacement. Gibby also in P11. I don't know if he's got damage or not. It doesn't look like it visibly, but Cohen may have damage. You want me to look at this? Yeah, he's got front wing damage. Look at him. He needs to go into a new set of tyres and fix that front end plate. So he must have, when he made contact with Mizzy, had a bit of a crash, and then that, well, not a bit of a crash, of course he did, but have a bit of a clash with the front wings, and that's him having to make a replacement. He has to have a replacement of a front wing. Wow, that's incredible. Mizzy's best chance to get back into the championship, and it's thrown away already.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Luckily for Curran, that pit stop was covered a little bit by the VSC, of course, so the front wing change maybe didn't lose him too much time. So he'll be able to get those tyres warmed up. He will be on another stop, unfortunately, but he'll do a double medium. So he only has to pit once, as everybody else does, on a medium tyre compared to what Pursoon, Rexty, Frantic, the top three will have to do, which will be onto a hard tyre. Can the top three break away from everybody behind who are going to be on that harder tyre and cover off when the tyre performance switches around? But Rexty looking absolutely rapid right now.
Well, I hope he don't jinx it, because he lost the back end there coming into the last corner. But now he's going to be using the battery. Pursoon is too, but it looks as though Pursoon has a bit more battery to use in a straight line. He's not going to do anything. Looking for it back. And Andrews making the move on JJ for P7. Not too much has happened. That's VSC has really just calmed the field down a bit, spread them out a little. And now people are just going to have to think their strategies through. How are they going to overtake? Will they overtake? It'll be more beneficial to maybe stick behind a faster medium runner.
Yeah,
as we see Niffle. Oh, now making a mistake and nearly crashing into the wall there. Wow, that was close.
Looking further back, Mizzy having a go on Dave Raptors already. These guys didn't make a pit stop. They did make a pit stop. Now, onto the inside line. A brilliant send. They're both on the same tyre. They both have time penalties. But they're still somewhat into this race. Rexty losing out immediately as JJ now takes that inside line. They're going to get that position unless a switchback is available. It won't be. Heischler trying to get in on this. He can't quite get there just yet. He might have a go at some point soon. Rexty taking a bit of an interesting line. Heischler will be able to capitalise on that. But not yet. A little bit too aggressive on the throttle. And that is him round, unfortunately.
Yeah, Rexy made a mistake into Skyblock, as you would call it, and yeah, I think he just clipped the curb on the outside, and that's what really flung his car around. And he went from P2 all the way down to P8, as we see, and Andrews making contact with Lawluck as he tries to go for a move down the inside. It's not paid off, and now he's going to be under pressure for JJ, who's also on that hard tyre, looking to make an impact on the race.
Yeah, for sure. We had a big switch up. It was an AlphaTauri 1-2 momentarily. Niffer-Jan split them, guys. He's just going to try and minimise his impact in this race, which he's doing a good job of. And Andrews, of course, losing that position. Larlock gaining it back on that medium tyre. Going to try and make use of this softer compound while he can. Everybody is kind of splitting up a little bit. Gilly right behind Frantic. He's looking pretty pacey right now. We'll see how that goes. JJ and Rexty can't get past the... Oh, no. Big contact, and that's Rexty out. JJ losing the car, and that was that. That was that.
Full safety cars out as well, so let's give a chance for everyone to close up to the pack. But JJ just lost the car coming onto the straight, and Rexty was a poor bystander. He didn't really see him. Obviously, it's a blind exit, so you can't really see much, and he just got collected. So that's Rexty going from P2 down to P8 and then eventually out the race. He was looking so well up until that point. I don't know if Mizzy nearly just hit Rexy's car there. That was close.
He's managed to get away with it. I think it would have been ghosted anyway. I don't know if JJ's got away. He has got away with any damage there, so pretty lucky for him. Cohen's now going to be in this one. He's going to need to be fairly aggressive to make some time on the restart, so he needs to be very, very alert. Otherwise, he could be in trouble. Now, Zingy, should Pursoon go into the pit lane?
Why would he?
I don't know. He can go to the end on these hard tyres. He won't have to pit again.
You mad?
Could he not go to the end?
No, I don't. I don't mean to be insulting, but I don't think so. Not to Pursoon, but I think just how the game works. I don't know, because personally, I know I've had bad tyre wear, but me and Niffle had about 60% on the hard tyres after 18 laps, 19 laps. Of course, I think we had a VSD or maybe a safety car, but still, to add another 5% on, it's going to be tricky. I mean, he could do it. I'm waffling a bit here, but he could do it. I reckon. It'd be tough. He might get a puncture, and we don't want a repeat of what happened in F1 2021, do we?
No, for sure. Do you think maybe Cohen should go back to their hard tyre?
Cohen is P... Where's Cohen? P9.
They don't have. They can pit again onto a set of mediums, so they will have the benefit anyway. Cohen's still in this race. He could very well win this race. I think Mizzy might be on the same. I believe they started on the hards as well, and I guess Dave Raptors did. But Dave Raptors going into the pit lane, going to serve that time penalty under safety car conditions. He's not going to lose any positions whilst doing this, so this could be a good idea. He is going to go to that hard tyre.
Yeah, Dave Raptors maybe thinking the opposite and thinking, maybe I could go to the end on this tyre if he's... Oh, he's already got a lap in the hard tyres too, so maybe... I'm not sure. I think everyone will have to make a pit stop. I think it's a bit too early, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. I mean, still, he can go a little bit longer. Maybe consider the softs. I wouldn't, but maybe he could consider the softs. And by going a little bit longer, slightly different to the other guys, you might be able to have a look at staying out and getting track position if there was a safety car. Because, you know, when the pit stops come around, everybody's tyres are worn, and then they pit, tyres are cold, easy to lose the car. We could see something switch up later on, and maybe Dave Raptors will get lucky. Safety car might be on its way in. It would be a very late call if so. As you can see, Dave Raptors is almost to the pack. Hives are not too far behind, so watch out for this. Pursuit leads the way. Will we be going in this lap, or are we going to be going for the next lap? I think we will probably go next lap, but you never know with this game. There you go. In this lap, we'll be going racing on lap 7 out of 36. Pursuit will lead the way, and Nifo will react. You can see everybody trying to aggressively weave to get those tyres somewhat warmed up, because they're going to be absolutely freezing. Still, just backing up the field, not even warming up the tyres as Pursuit. He's just going to wait until that safety car goes in and go immediately. I say that, he's still waiting, When will he gun it? He goes for it now, as you can see, Squirms on the throttle. Nimbo getting away pretty well, but he's on that hard tyre. Here comes Frantic now to the outside line. Would he possibly go for it? No, he will not. He's just going to have to give in for now. Couple cars behind who are looking like they're going to switch up. Cohen makes a move on his teammate, and that's also the Mercedes having a quick look. They're not going to be there for now, but maybe on the exit, if they can take a different line and ascend it to the inside. As Mizzy, there's a little bit of contact as JJ will now lose out. Side by side, Dave Raptors making his way past Mizzy now immediately on that hard tyre, believe it or not. Absolutely perfect.
Mizzy looking back up the inside of Dave Raptors. He doesn't make the move stick. Dave loses the back end and coming in to the slow right left. He's going to look down the inside. He's going to have the outside for the next corner, but he's got the fresher. Better tyres. He's going to go right around the outside, and he makes the move stick. Messi back up into P9. Now Cohen is going to look for the move on the other Mercedes of Gibby. But now Gibby looks at the inside of Andrews. It's free wide. It's free wide into the chicane. No way that's going to work. Andrews keeps the position in P6. Gibby and Cohen are now side by side. It pushes him onto the grass, and now here comes Gibby down the inside, and Dave Raptors has made a bit of contact. He's hit the wall. He's spun, and I think he's lost a bit of front wing as well. So Dave Raptors. Or who was it? I'm not sure. Heischler. It was Heischler that lost his wing.
Everything getting very, very crazy on the restart. That's a 5-second penalty for Heischler, and it's not looking good. Lap 8 out of 36. A lot has happened so far, and it's not ideal for quite a few cars. Cohen, very, very quick. He's on that medium tyre, wants to make moves as soon as he possibly can. This time, not going to have a chance. You know, and Andrews, he's pretty slippery in a straight line, so it's not going to be too easy to have a go on a start-finish straight. DRS isn't even available, and the pack is bunched up, let alone and Andrews being a pretty quick driver as well. Larlick is right ahead of him, so he's going to want to try and make a move, but on that medium tyre, it's not going to be so straightforward. On the exit, unfortunately, that's Mizzy making another mistake, and that will be him down the order once again. Not what we want to see. JJ also having issues.
Yeah, I think JJ got a bit caught up there, but now looking a bit further ahead now, we see End Andrews. He's right behind Laurel. Look, I think he might go for a move into turn 1. You said he's a bit slippery in the straight line. You can see it through the banking. He's sticking with him, and now he's only just going to gain from here on in. Coming into turn 1 now, look at that. Oracle's getting bigger as he goes to the inside into turn 1. And Andrews, he's going to go for the move down the inside. Locke's going to hold it right around the outside. He's going to swip around, and he's got the momentum, but now Andrews going to have the insides for the next corner. He pushes him onto the curb a little bit. I think that's a bit unintentional. And now here comes the Williams of Cohen. Cohen's making moves. Lorlock makes a bit of a mistake. Andrews gets back pass, and so does Cohen up into P5. So Cohen making the best out of all this, whilst people were battling and just slithering his way up into P5.
Ah, what a shame. Car's just losing the traction just a little bit. Cohen, I say he managed to take advantage, but there was a little bit of contact, a very, very slight bit of contact, which isn't ideal. I don't think it would have been severe enough to give you damage. If anything, it would have been very, very light. He's still in this race, though, and maybe he'll just have to take a front wing change at the next pit stop. But at the moment, he's still looking pretty quick, and that is a very nice situation for him to be in.
Looking to Gilly now. Gilly's on the back of Frantic, but I don't know if he's going to get the move done. Niffo, on the other hand, is right up behind Persona. He's going to make the move into turn 1. Niffo, as you said, doesn't want to make any impact in this race as a tier 1 driver, an F1 driver, sorry. And he's made his way up into P1. Gilly, though, was unable to make the move stick on the other AlphaTauri. He seems to be struggling a little bit, but remember, those medium tyres will last until, well, now with the safety car, say lap 14 before they switch over. However, Gilly seems to have got a good exit, and will he try and pressure Frantic for the position? No, he's not. He's thinking better of it, and maybe just going to go for the move a bit later on when his tyres are definitely better.
At the moment, AlphaTauri leads the way for the EU drivers 1-2. Gilly sat in another podium position, so this would be great for him. He's currently, I believe, if I'm correct, sitting in P2 in the championship, just by keeping consistent and staying there, so doing a very, very good job. But he does have Cohen right behind him. Cohen is looking pretty quick. He's on that fresh-ish medium tyre. He will be going, once again, as I will say, onto another medium tyre later on. He's going to be definitely someone to watch later on. That does mean he's going to have to be very careful on this current stint, because otherwise he'll be in trouble. Niffo and Pursuit aren't too far away of the ahead, but they do have a bit of a DRS train going on, and that's going to be crucial. Cohen has a look to the inside, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move. Gilly is not going to be slow enough to make a move for Cohen. He is pretty close. Would he ever go on the traction zone up here?
Well, he's put him to the inside, has Cohen. Gilly, I don't know if he meant to do that or not, but Cohen's going to use the battery coming out of the banking. He's going to be side by side with Gilly coming through the fast left right. And look at this straight line speed. That is amazing. Cohen weaves the wheel a little bit in celebration as he gets the move done. And he's up into P4. Next target is Frantic, and with that straight line speed, there's nothing going to be stopping him from getting past immediately.
The buzz that you get from a move like that, absolutely incredible. Through that sequence of corners as well, it definitely feels like you're going 500 mile an hour, honestly. But he's got it done, so really, really well done to him. Next up, he's got Frantic, and this time there's no DRS train, so he could have a possibly easy job at this. We do know that Gilly's kind of opted for maybe a little bit of a higher downforce setup in recent races. Maybe he's running that again. That could explain something. We could get 2 overtakes here on one straight. Cohen definitely going to have a look, and he might already make the move anyway. And Andrews right behind. He's going to go on the Ferrari, so we will get a double switch up. And Andrews is a higher tier driver, so Gilly doesn't lose out too much, and he could possibly use End Andrews here. If End Andrews can go for a move on Frantic, maybe he'll make it difficult. But we'll see. We'll see. He's got to try and make everything as clean as he possibly can. Cohen definitely making the most of his tyre at the moment. He's 5 seconds behind Pursuit, though.
It still bamboozles me, that straight line speed, by the way. I don't know what wings he's running or what engine he's got in the back of that. Definitely that 2026 Red Bull Ford powertrain, by the sounds of things. Honestly, that is the most straight line speed difference I think I've ever seen in this game. So Cohen, using his difference in setup to his advantage. I never thought the Netherlands would be a track for it, but now that I think about it, there's 3 sort of straights. You've got the main straight, you've got the back straight, and then you've got the kind of straight, which is kind of bendy, but you're still keeping flat. So maybe he's thought about this in advance and thought, maybe I can run my trademark low downforce setup, and he's making it work. He's lost a bit of time to Pursuit, who's getting dragged along, sorry, by Niffle, so that's understandable. But Cohen's still showing very good paces, and Andrews further behind. Just behind Cohen, goes for the move on the AlphaTauri Frantic. Of course, he's a higher tier driver, but he makes the move stick. That's a nice little move, and he's up into P4. Now we're going to be pressurising Cohen, but I don't know if he'll be able to get past him or not. I mean, that not AlphaTauri, that Williams is so quick, so he's going to find it difficult. But being a higher tier driver, I would expect him to get the move done. And speaking of, Gilly tries to go for a move on Frantic, like Cohen did, but he just doesn't have the straight line speeds. Further back, Mizzy makes a move on Dave Raptors, and now Gibby's going to be put under pressure. Mizzy down the inside, and he spun him. He went side by side, there wasn't really alongside too much, and he got spun around by his teammate Mizzy with more misery around Stanford. He just can't seem to get a good result at the moment. He just seems to be stuck in his endless cycle of pain and suffering, and now he's down into P10 with hot tyres, and now a very feisty JJ on his back end, so he needs to watch out.
Domino effect in full effect, and it's not ideal, is it? Mizzy going for a move there, a very difficult corner, so I don't really know what you can say about that. It's a shame. We'll have to look at it on the replay. Lots of switch-ups further up the grid. Gilly finally going to have a look here on Frantic. They'll stick their nose in on the inside a lot further than ever before. No ERS for that AlphaTauri. Gilly still trying to have a look. He'll have to leave the space, Frantic, otherwise he's going to be in big trouble. On the exit now. Will Gilly get that traction down? I don't think he's going to be there, but he forces the space once again. This time, he might have a bit more success. To the inside line, he's ahead, and he's looking to take the racing line. That is phenomenal from Gilly there. Finally makes it work after multiple attempts. Brilliant job, brilliant. Gibby, unfortunately, off into the gravel, really high up off the circuit, but they're going to get back onto the circuit and disqualified for going the wrong way. The wrong way. Wow. Wow. EA strikes again. What a shame. That is, yeah, such a shame.
Yeah, Dave Raptors and Lawlick were having a bit of a battle there. Lawlick and the Dave Raptors made contact. Lawlick coming off worse, losing a couple seconds to the Alpine driver. But, Dave Raptors actually loses the back end there, nearly crashing into the wall, but he manages to keep it just about. But yeah, proving that overtaking is very tough around this track, but if you can get it right like Gilly just did there, then you've got all the chance of succeeding. Perseverance shown there from Gilly, and he managed to do it. That was incredible.
Yeah, when both drivers trust each other, they can make very great battles like we saw. So really good job from Gilly and Frantic. You know, Frantic's tyres are pretty old now, so Gilly was waiting for that perfect opportunity, and he's executed it. So really well done from him. The top two are breaking away a bit. Cohen really going to be frustrated because that DRS train that Pursoon's got himself in is going to be crippling. Although, Pursoon, he's got the ability to stay in a DRS train, so for him, he's doing a very good job, you know. That's something that you've got to try and use in the races like these. And Andrews, he's not catching up to Cohen yet, but his tyres might be there very soon, so maybe he could extend these tyres a little bit longer than before. Pursoon, he could sit behind Nifajan and get that DRS and maybe have an advantage. Would he really want to do that too much though? I don't quite know. The question is, Cohen, Pursoon, who's going for the undercut?
Well, I would say, I don't know, because the hard tyres are really cold, aren't they? So maybe I'm thinking, from personal experience, the old mediums are still faster than the hard tyres. So maybe for the first lap or two, you want to maybe go for 1 or 2 lap overcut, try and gain a bit of time, and then just work from there. So if if Cohen pits 2 laps later, he'll maybe drop that gap to 5 seconds, and then he'll be able to have that confidence that he's been having the whole race to reel him in. And by that time, with Niffle on the medium tyre, he's going to pull away, considering it's the opposite way around right now, and Pursuit is still struggling to just about keeping the DRS. So, knowing that, he should do fine. But the other AlphaTauri, on the other hand, is struggling. Frantic And the little slow complex right left, he just seemed to have lost the car. I think his tyres might be going off a bit, and maybe it's time to consider a tyre change onto the hard tyre.
Yeah, other drivers are going to be very careful of that as well, so Frantic might have to go a little bit earlier than before. Once again, Cohen, he can go onto a set of medium tyres, so he can go a little bit longer and have slightly fresher tyres at the end of this race, because, you know, he'll have the pace advantage anyway. The gap, 8 seconds he's got to catch, isn't going to be easy, but still, he is going to be there, and it's going to be very, very difficult for Pursoon to get around this. So currently, Pursoon, having that DRS, he's doing everything he can to try and win this race. But the only thing that is stopping Cohen is maybe not being able to go from him at turn 1, and also a safety car. We'll have to see how it goes a little bit later on, though. As that is Mizzy making a move on Lalek. Lalek's pitting for those hard tyres. Frantic, of course, triggering their action. So both of those guys going for some pretty early moves. And Mizzy might even have a look pretty soon.
Yeah, Mizzy going down the inside, will just turn to the outside, and he just has a lot more grip on those ultra hard tyres. The Frantic can't do anything and get by. Mizzy, sorry, is up into P9. Look at the confidence he's got and the heat in the tyres. He just manages to fly around the track. Frantic's going to take about a lap here to get his tyres up to scratch, and once he does, he'll be fine. But that proves if you just get the car up to temperature, then you can do some magic with it.
Yeah, for sure, doing a very good job. That 4 laps is about enough, but Cohen going for the undercut, even though he's on slightly fresher tyres. He wants to make full use of this undercut, because not only is he going to be on a faster tyre, he'll have that extra lap to get that pace down, so this might not be a bad idea. Where's he going to come out on track, though? JJ behind him. Teammates, they shouldn't give each other too much of a hard time.
Aaron, he's pitted onto the medium tyres again. I swear he was starting on them, no?
No, he started on the hard tyres. Or he
Oh,
spent
sorry,
at least, yeah, he started at least, or he's been on the hard tyres at least once this race. Heisler, unfortunately, making a mistake, and that is more bad news for him. He's going to have to make another unscheduled pit stop. Looking further forward, Nifo's not going to be making a pit stop for a couple laps. Will Pursoon now react to Cohen, or is he going to still try his best to hold on to the DRS range? No, he saw that was 9/10. He almost lost the DRS that time around, so he's going to react immediately while he can and just try and let these hard tyres somewhat get an advantage. I don't know if they will do, but if he can just get them warmed up now and then maybe defend from Cohen later, might be a plan, of course. Dave Raptor's staying out. He, in theory, doesn't need to pit again. He's going to be going, like I said earlier on, a lot longer just to maybe try and cover a possible safety car, which would then put him into the lead of this race, in theory. But that's going to be something to watch, because they're going to be really old tyres compared to Pursoon. Cohen's going to want to try and get close, so we could have a bit of a 3-way battle, not too far away. Never mind, you know what I mean.
I just want to look at the gap between Cohen and Pursoon for this first lap. It's already dropped a second as Haish retires in the pit lane. I thought that was on track there, but nope. And Cohen's catching a bit. He's actually not catching so much as I would have thought. Maybe Pursoon's just managing to keep those hard tyres. Not in an operating window, but just maybe he's practiced a bit on them and realised that he needs to be a bit careful. And he's caught him by like a second, about nearly 2 seconds this lap, but that's good for Pursoon that he's managed to keep the car in a straight line, not making any mistakes, and manage to gradually heat up those hard tyres. That's exactly what he needs to do if he wants to have the chance of winning this. Cohen is now 5 seconds behind. It's going to keep on dropping. Not significantly, well, yes, significantly, but it'll be over a long time period. And Pursoon's got to hope that his tyres either die off or that he's got good pace, as he makes a bit of a mistake out of turn 1, so proving that the hard tyres are still heating up a little bit. If we look through Cohen going for turn 1, he just got the power down nice and simple. And now it's gapped 5.6, 5.5. So over the next few laps, I said it's going to drop, but will it be enough? And will he have the tyre life near the end of the race to have an attack? That's the issue.
We'll see. Hard tyres, they take somewhat like, I guess, 2 laps to warm up, and then you'll be good to go. And then they'll get faster later on. You'll probably see your fastest lap maybe coming in about lap 8, 10, I don't know. But The medium tyres, I would argue that they maybe become their fastest around lap 3-4-ish. So Cohen still going to be pretty quick. He's not going to be slow for a while. We're going to see at least, I think you said 12 laps on a medium tyre, then you start to see a bit of a pace difference. Yep. So that 5-second gap, he does have a big job to do, and then he has to get ahead. So that's going to be difficult. Gilly taking it into the pit lane, and that is going to be a pretty standard pit stop for him, just minding in his own business. He's not really had any problems. I don't think he's going to have any competition either on the exit of the pit lane, as that is JJ on a very different strategy to him.
Mizzy's going to be coming out of the pit lane soon. He's going to be nearer Gilly, but he's on 8-lap-old hard tyres, so once Gilly gets his tyres up to temperature, he should be fine. However, Mizzy is kind of close, so Gilly's going to have to watch his back just in case he struggles to get heat into the tyres. Mizzy closing up. Remember, he did make a move on, was it Frantic on the hard tyres when he first made a stop? And now he's 7 tenths behind, but I don't think he's going to be able to make a move at the moment. So, Gilly managing to just get the car in a straight line. However, oh my days, look at the gap there. Mizzy absolutely flying. Gilly just doesn't have any confidence on the medium tyre. Mizzy's not going to go for a move yet. He's going to see where Gilly's weak and maybe go down the inside. He's going to go for it down the inside. He runs a bit wide. Gilly goes a little bit wider due to the cold tyres. He goes down the inside. He gets the DRS on the straight. Gilly is now going to be stuck behind an 8-lap-old hard runner of Mizzy. Mizzy's no slouch, mind you, but those medium tyres should be faster. And he's going to be kicking himself that he's just lost a position to someone who's on that really slow tyre.
Can't seem to get them quite where he wants them at the moment. Do need to try and get used to the tyres, so maybe he'll be a bit better later on. Those hard tyres aren't going to be too good later on in this race, so he might have an advantage. And of course, Mizzy does have that time penalty, unfortunately for them. He also has no ERS, which might be an advantage for Gilly if Gilly can try and get to the DRS, but he's got so much confidence in that car, does Mizzy. Don't forget he also went for 10.0 in qualifying, so very, very confident. Higher tier drivers of Niffen and Andrews, they've been able to extend a little bit as they're in clean air, so they might try and go for a pit stop within this lap or next lap. Niffer's going to carry on a little bit longer, so pretty good for them so far. Back to the main fight that we want to see. Cohen, Pursoon, they're not really changing that gap too much. Pursoon's doing a very good job here.
Yeah, Pursoon just try to regulate that gap. It's going to drop, let's be honest. That medium tyre is very quick. So, with the clean air that they just had as Andrews and Dave Raptors have pitted, they're going to be battling for P1 and 2 without anyone interrupting them. And now we're going to really see the gap. Now Cohen, on that medium tyre, he's actually dropped a bit of time out of the last corner. He might have made a mistake. So I'm not sure what's happening, but he needs to pick up the pace a little bit like now, more than any, so he can get that gap down and have a chance of battling Pursoon. But Pursoon's not say cruising. Of course he's pushing as hard as he can, but he's still doing very well to just keep the gap as it is. So doing this, if he just keeps the gap around a bit here, it's going to drop a little bit, but when it gets to lap 29, let's say 30, you're going to see Cohen start to drop off a bit, and that's where Pursoon is going to thrive. And it could be him taking the win. Is it his home Grand Prix, if I'm correct in saying?
It is. Not Pursoon, Cohen.
It's Cohen's home race, so he's going to be wanting to push much harder to get ahead, to win at his home Grand Prix after all, so he's got that motivation to hopefully push him on, but at the moment it's not enough.
Dave Raptors in P6 as he exits the pit lane, getting those tyres warmed up pretty nicely. Gilly wasn't able to capitalise on that, so he might have a look on the DRS straight, but that is a nice gap that Dave Raptors has just made himself, so very, very well executed from Dave Raptors, and he's going to maintain that position for now. He's on a fast tyre, he's going to try and catch up to Mizzy, so he should be good to go, but he still needs to make that overtake. Around the Netherlands, it's not too easy. Cohen, as we were just talking about, the gap that he has, he needs to gain. The tyre should be significantly faster, and it is significantly faster, but only for a certain period of time, and Cohen is already on lap 6 of these medium tyres, so he is running out of time slowly but surely. I think he can still get there, but I don't know if he'll be able to fight for the position once he does get there.
Yeah, that's the issue. Tyre wear, ERS, everything is going to be affecting the driver so much. And when they're catching up, that's one thing. I'm just going to copy Murray Walker and say passing is another because I can't think of anything else to say. However, it's true. And around the track like the Netherlands, although people find very creative ways to overtake, it's still really difficult. So, you know, what are you going to do? What's the plan?
Yeah, you really do have to put the pressure on and try and force your rival to burst all their ERS and then maybe have a go, but it's not that straightforward as we saw yesterday. Very, very tricky. Mizzy now could be in trouble from Dave Raptors. Dave Raptors almost got that DRS range. He has used a lot of energy to do so though, so he could be in trouble, but he has the grip in the corners. He should be fine. Very confident is Mizzy through turn 7. So that high speed section of the circuit does seem to be where he is absolutely epic.
I've just noticed something, Aaron. I know it's a bit off topic, but looking at those tyres, 25 laps on the hard tyre, he's taking inspiration from myself. And let's hope he doesn't take out an unsuspecting lower tier driver, because that wouldn't be too nice, would it?
Yeah, for sure. Would he really try and go for a set of soft tyres later on? He'd have to pit about lap 30. He might be able to, but those tyres are just going to be so on the edge. It's probably not worth it, is it? But he does have a 21-second gap to the cars behind. Pursoon, would he be in a position to jump Niffo? Is the pit lane that long, or has Niffo just kept the pace up?
You know, sort of turn 1, the pit lane's very tight and it's a bit shorter. That actually surprisingly makes the pit lane very short. It's like 17 seconds this pit lane, so Niffo with a purple time pit stop and some good laps that he's setting right now, keeping the gap, he should be fine. He's going to start again, so I think for the moment he's just trying to get the tyres as long as he can into the race and have really fresh tyres towards the end.
From what we saw in France, he did a very good job on the tyres and he had pretty much no tyre wear when it got to the end of the race. So yeah, we'll see what he can do later on. He can go a long time. And him as well, he's got the home crowd cheering him on, even though he's a higher tier driver. He's going to have a little bit of a speed boost. So yeah, very good job from him. Cohen, 4.8 seconds. That gap hasn't really changed too much, so it's not like he can find the answer to Pursoon, unfortunately. And Andrews is now close up behind Cohen. Maybe if End Andrews has the pace to do so, he could get in front of Cohen and give him a bit of DRS. It might be an idea, as Pursoon had it earlier on. I don't know though, we'll have to wait and see. Dave Raptors was almost in DRS, and as soon as it got to the point where he was about to gain it, Mizzy has now brought that to a 1.5 second gap. Very, very impressive.
Mizzy on the hard tyre, very old, mind you, is showing some incredible pace after all the spins, after all the misery that he experienced earlier on in the race. He seems to just be really quick. I mean, really, he's not got much to lose. His race was ruined at the start. So he's thinking, I'm going to go for a bit of a crazy strategy, which seems to be working at the moment. He's P3 for the EU drivers, which is incredible. Gelly was in that place earlier on, but he's dropped back, what? I can't check the time, can I? About 5-6 seconds as End Andrews goes for the move on Cohen. Now Cohen's going to hope to keep in the DRS of Andrews, but his pace isn't as good as I might have thought earlier on. I thought Cohen would fly back onto Pursoon, but it doesn't seem like it at the moment. And Andrews already looking to build a little bit of a gap as far back because he looked making a mistake. But looking at these medium runners like Cohen and Mizzy, they just haven't seemed to have the pace that they showed earlier on in the race, which is really unfortunate for them.
Yeah, they had issues earlier on, whereas Pursoon hasn't, so his mojo is nice and high at the moment, although he does have End Andrews Right behind him now, Current doing enough to stay in the DRS range. He was wiggling just before the start-finish straight just to make sure and Andrews knew that his intentions were to work together here. So fair enough to them. Niffer into the pit lane, and he will do the soft tyre strategy just a lap earlier than I expected. So fair enough to him. He should have a decent gap to the cars behind. He's not going to have any trouble either against that hard tyre runner. He'll have a bit of a moment to extend that gap further before he does drop off. And then he can just relax to the end. So a brilliant strategy, a bit of a different strategy for Niffo as he drifts up the hill.
Yeah, Niffle showing great pace all the race. Not getting held up by Dave Rapids this time, so he's going to be happy about that one. And now he's got the lead by 3.3 seconds. He's going to warm up those soft tyres very quickly. This tyres 8 soft tyres. This track 8 soft tyres for breakfast, I should say. I mean, soft tyres. I wonder how they taste them. What do you think soft tyres taste like?
Like tar, maybe? I don't know. Rubber. Burning rubber. I don't know. I've never tried it, to be honest.
Smoky barbecue.
If you want to imagine that, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, as Dave Raptors in P6 now loses even more time to Mizzy, as he is unfortunately, I guess, making a mistake. You don't lose that much time in that short of a space of time. Pretty impressive from Mizzy. He's keeping the consistency. Dave Raptors is doing a good job, but unfortunately that mistake is going to make it incredibly difficult for him to get an advantage. Time penalty-wise, he is still going to do enough, and maybe Gilly could get a position here, and he'll get promoted another 2 positions because of the higher tier drivers. So actually, Gilly could get P4 here. Not quite a podium, but still P4 would be nice.
If I were Gilly, I think he will be quite disappointed after the pace he's shown on the hards. I know I said it earlier on, like about 3 laps ago, but honestly, what has happened? I wish I knew. Actually, is Cohen close for removing end Andrews? Did he make a mistake?
Yes, he did.
I think he may have made a mistake, yeah. Cohen now ahead of end Andrews, but the gap 5.60%, so Andrews made a mistake somewhere in the middle sector. I think he might have ridden the sausage curb, which I said earlier on was deadly. So Pursuit's now got 5.67 seconds now, and it's looking ever more likely that he's going to win the Grand Prix as these two continue to battle. As Niffle sits in 11.5, that is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that is insane pace from Niffle. Anyway, back to the battle here. He's now got he's got a flashing light. Cohen's got a flashing light. That means less than 10%. Andrews is saving fuel.
Maybe. It was a weird place for him to lose the car, and the way he did it, it looked like he was giving the position back pretty easily. So I don't think he actually is gonna battle Curran. I think he'll stay there, but there is going to be a battle with JJ, who is in the other Williams. Frantic is doing enough to stay ahead for now, but you could see a moment of time. The flashing light was on the back of that car, and that does mean Frantic could be in trouble. We know JJ is usually very, very good in a straight line, so it's not going to be too long until JJ gets another opportunity. 8 lap-old mediums against 14 laps on a hard tyre. He has all the advantages with him, except from track position.
Yeah, JJ before has always been rapid in the straight line, and he seems to have a nice smooth run through this section. And Frantic on the older hard tyres is struggling quite a bit. So JJ with his straight line speed advantage, the tyre advantage, he's got nothing really to lose. It's going to be a battle for, was it P6 for the tier 1, tier 1 drivers.
Yeah.
So he's going to go for it probably on the main straight. He's going to use a bit of battery now to catch up closely. Frantic, has got a flashing light less than 10%. He's going to use all the battery he can. JJ doesn't even need to use battery. He's going to close up to him. He's going to use a sprinkle now, and he's going to go to the inside into turn 1. JJ and Frantic side by side. JJ breaks a bit early, but then gets the launch on the exit, pushes him onto the curb a little bit, but JJ is up. He's up into P8. That's a great move from him. And now he's going to set his eyes towards Gilly, who's quite far up the road, but he needs to do a lot of fuel saving. I was going to mention earlier on, he had a red fuel icon for ages. Gilly is so slow at the moment. He's a couple seconds slower a lap, I believe, to the other guys. So if JJ pushes for the last 4 or 5 laps, and that gap comes down steadily, he could be on for a very good result here.
For sure, it's going to be hard, but we'll see if he can get it done. He can forget about going for a move on Mizzy, unless Mizzy's tyres punctured, but from what we saw earlier on, you can go pretty long on these hard tyres. Lap 33 out of 36, Gilly is about to start. It's not going to be easy. 10.6 seconds is the gap. Check that a little bit later on, will you, in the chat, everyone. Mizzy currently P5, catching up to End Andrews and possibly Cohen. He's got that time penalty, so would he even want to bother going for a move? He does want to try and escape from Dave Raptors. He's got about 8 tenths, 7-ish tenths to try and escape. So he might have to go for a move, honestly. He might have to, just to try and stay ahead of that Alpine.
Yeah, a car up ahead. I don't know if you're talking about this, or I can have some doubt, but here's End Andrews. He is saving fuel. He's not minus on fuel, but he is lifting and coasting, which suggests he's running out of fuel. Zandvoort eats fuel for lunch, sloth for breakfast, fuel for lunch. I don't know what's going to have for dinner. Probably the medium tyres, because medium tyres do wear it quite quickly here. End Andrews on the other hand is looking at Cohen down the inside into turn 1. He's not got any battery left. Andrews, I think he saved enough fuel now. He's waiting for the move. Didn't have the fuel save into the turn 1, so he's got ahead now. But they're going to be very close behind, and they're going to be ready to pounce if he does need to save fuel. Cohen getting very close into the banking section. He's going to be looking all over the back of him, but without any battery, he's going to be struggling a lot. Mizzy, also with no battery, on the hard tyres, which are 21 laps old. Mind you, almost as long as Niffle went on his first stint. But he seems to have a lot of pace. Cohen is struggling quite a lot, and Mizzy might look for the move. He loses the back end a little bit, nearly going over the second part of the sausage curb, which would have been detrimental to his race. He's going to try again down the inside, but this time rather than Gilly, it's on Cohen. He gets the move done again, but Cohen on the exit manages to do very well, and coming into the chicane now, Cohen has the inside. Mizzy's going to hold it around the outside, but Cohen with a great defence pushes him onto the curb, slams that door firmly shut. And that's him still in P4.
Phenomenal battle there. Mizzy trying his best, and he doesn't want this battle to happen because at this point he's half a second down on Dave Raptors, which is not going to be enough. He has to get the move done or just let Curran stay in front. At the moment, it might just be a chance to let him stay in front because Dave Raptors isn't actually faster than this train, but by battling, it's not going to be easy. Cole wants to just try and stay ahead on track, honestly, and you can understand that, but it's still not going to be enough at the moment. Dave Raptors maybe been saving on the final few laps to try and get that position back.
Yeah, Dave Raptors needs to push a lot. And these guys obviously having their battle up here. It's Mizzy nearly touching the back of Cohen. Will he go for the move again? It's deja vu. He goes for the move. Cohen this time's like, yeah, nah, I'm going to shut the door on you. But he loses the back end. And now coming into the chicane now, who's going to be last in the late breakers? Let's see. Into the hairpin, not the hairpin, the chicane. And he just can't get the move done. Mizzy really needs to do something on this last lap. He needs to get very creative as the last lap starts for Niffle in the lead of the Grand Prix at the moment, having no challenges. But looking at these guys, he's 1/10 behind. So he needs to try something. He needs to do it now. This is one of his last opportunities, but it seems as though he's got a bit more battery, going with about 1 or 2% more. He manages to keep ahead of Mizzy for now, with End Andrews helping him. Well, not directly, but he's still helping him with the DRS. He can't do anything, and Mizzy really wanting to get this on-track glory, even if he can't get it on penalties. So onto the last lap, and Mizzy he's desperate. He's so desperate to get this move done. Coming into the fast right-hander, and nothing goes at the moment.
Or contact, and he's going to make Cohen lose a lot there. The pace is very, very different, trying to just scare Cohen into losing a little bit of time so he can get an advantage, as he once again going to have a look to the inside line. He's not going to be far enough alongside, and now he's realised, I've lost it to Dave Raptors. It's not going to be enough. Would he want to go for a send? He will go for a send. That's never going to work. Never going to work. He will stay in P5. Nifojan wins the Netherlands Grand Prix. Pursoon wins for the EU Championship. That's absolutely perfect for him. He's going to be trying to make his way to the lead of that championship, and Andrew's going to let Cohen go. Cohen will take that P3, and then Mizzy in P5. Dave Raptors will get it on the time penalties. Brilliant job from him. He was there when it counted. Gilly is going to come around the final few corners to secure a very, very nice P7, as he will hold on. JJ 5 seconds behind. Look at that gap. Look at that gap. That's absolutely insane. Very good effort to try and catch back up, but it was enough. Frantic in P9, and then Larlock will finish off with 8th place if you take away the high tier drivers, so still some points in the end for him.
Gilly on the straight actually ran out of fuel. So, if there were, say, like a lap or a bit more, he could have really lost a lot of time there. So Gilly's lucky that the race ended as it did. And yeah, proving that fuel's a killer around this track, which really ruins Gilly's race. But yeah, Pursuit wins.
For sure. Maybe they're expecting a little bit more of a safety car time, which didn't happen. We only had one safety car and then a VSC, I believe, unless we had two. I don't know, but it is what it is. We're going to look at the results for one final time. Just waiting for that to pop up on our screens. Come on, let's get it, please. Loading. Still loading. Please don't do this. Thank you very much. There's Nifo going to the podium. Nifo Giant takes the win. Pursuit in P2. Then we got Curran in P3. And Andrews, Dave Raptors, Mizzy, Gilly, JJ Frantic, Larlock finishing the grid. And then we've got Heischler in P11 with Rexty and Gibby DNFing earlier on. Gibby, of course, getting disqualified by the game. But I think that might just be considered a DNF because that was pretty unfair for him. We'll skim through the rest of the race director just in case, and we will be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI post-race interviews. That is the Netherlands Grand Prix. We're going to start the interviews with Mizzy. Mizzy, great pace, great pole position. Unfortunately, the race didn't go quite your way, but an eventful one for sure.
Yeah, it went for sure. Through the pole position into the bin, so not ideal, but the pace was good. I'm happy with the race pace as well. Had some good battles with Cohen in the end too, so that was pretty entertaining. And if I can keep this up for the next race, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think if maybe you got a bit of a better start off the line and took the lead, you might have had a bit less pressure and maybe a possible win?
I think the win was on the line in the beginning, but yeah, was too hard on the throttle in the beginning. Got so much wheel spin and just binned in the second corner. So yeah, it's not ideal, but I think we learn from the mistakes, and next race should be better than this one.
Yeah, for sure. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Belgium is a iconic track. Do you think you can do well there?
It is an iconic track. It is also one of my favorite circuits, so I sure hope I can do well there, yeah.
Awesome, good to hear. Hopefully we can see a little bit of a better run next time, and we'll see you there. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Not so good.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Yeah, thank you.
And we move on to Haish. So Haish, that was tough. Ended fairly quickly, unfortunately. Can you take us through that one?
Yeah, I'm normally here because of the fun. I just want to race and have some fun. But yeah, I got some tough luck again. Made some mistakes myself, and that pretty much took me out of the race. So I thought, nah, I'm not having fun. So I just retire. I wasn't in the points. Yeah, although I think I was, but no, I wasn't anymore. Nah, then I just retired and thought, nah.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster of the ride. You're in the points, then you weren't, then you were. It's a shame. Very difficult circuit, but Belgium.
No, it's not really the circuit's problem. It's just me not focusing.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. So Belgium, if you can take what you've learnt today, do you think you can maybe get a better race there and just try and focus on yourself?
Well, for the Tier 1 league, I'm quite sure I can do well there. I'm just gonna be on my own, not in a VC, not like I did today, and just drive. And yeah, for this tier, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I think I can do well again, but yeah, just have to stay out of problems sometimes, which is sometimes quite hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's difficult, but Spa is a very, very long circuit, so there's plenty of opportunities. And we'll see you there. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
It is what it is.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
No.
Thank you.
And we move on to Gilly. Gilly, that was a pretty nice race in the end, unfortunately. Maybe a bit of a misjudgment, which didn't quite work out. But still, the beginning of the race and the middle of the race, you had some very nice battles.
Yeah, I think I had good pace at the start, but then one of my mechanics forgot to put fuel in, so I had some fuel issues at the end.
Do you think the FIA might be looking into that one? Do you have enough fuel to actually sample at the end of the race?
Definitely, without a doubt. Ignore the fact I
Ferrari
ran out of
International
fuel.
Association. Yeah, it's a shame, but it is what it is. Sorry for the mic slap. It's still a very good race from you. Some very, very nice battles, so really well done. Belgium, it's a interesting circuit, very low downforce generally. Do you think you can do well there?
Well, it sounds like the return of 0-0 to me.
Fair enough. I mean, good luck of Eau Rouge if you're gonna do that. It might work. It might work. I guess that's all we need to say about that one. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
I need fuel.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Nifo Jan. Nifo taking another win overall. Redemption from yesterday a little bit. Doing a very, 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 very different strategy as well. And not really seeing many drivers for pretty much like 3/4 of that race. Are you happy with that one?
Yeah. It
No?
was it was a nice Sunday drive, really. I mean, the first lap or the first few laps were kind of chaotic. I mean, the first lap was kind of chaotic because it's lap one and I overtook a lot of cars. Then there was a lot of safety cars, which we basically didn't have any racing laps, but I was still, I think, in 2 racing laps I was P2, and just waiting like 2 laps, and I overtook Pursuit. And then basically because of DRS and mediums, I was like, he's pretty. He had very good pace. So I was like, oh, well, I know it's probably not worth it to just push my tires dead and just, I was like, I'll get him on the medium. So just like chilling a bit, and he pitted, and then I just noticed that I'm not losing time at all, and I'm just driving, and every lap I'm like looking, I'm like, oh, I'm not losing time, and I'm gaining time. What the? And I'm just looking and looking and looking and looking. And at the end, I'm like, at a certain lap level, I was like, I'm just gonna go to softs. Because I was like, well, I'm not because I was like, why would I pit if I'm not losing time, right? But I was thinking about mediums, and then I was like, well, I'll just go to softs, and the softs, and then drove around with that a bit. I wanted to be 10 seconds ahead, but the softs gave out before I could really do that. But yeah, it was nice Sunday drive. Let's put it that way.
Feeling like Superman, maybe. It's a shame that they didn't bring the orange flares out, but maybe next time. Maybe next game they'll add that in. Belgium, do you like that circuit more than the Netherlands? I'm going to assume not.
No. Yeah. I'm not really a fan of the low downforce circuits, but we'll have to try. If we can have another fun strategy race, then I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody's going to be in the same boat, so yeah, anything can happen. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
I'm struggling.
No worries, no worries.
What are mediums? What are mediums?
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thank you.
That was a very good effort to get those 3 words out in the end. I will pass you over to Zingy.
Yeah, that was a struggle for Niffle to get those 3 words, that's for sure. No, anyway, well, that's it. Done for Zandvoort. We're moving on to the neighbour of the Netherlands, I'm sure. My geography skills aren't very good. It's going to be Belgium next time, a very low downforce setup in contrast, as mentioned previously, which might throw up a bit of interesting strategies, considering, well, people's preferences, of course. So, on Friday at 8 PM, you can join us, and yeah. And, and Saturday as well at 8 PM for LSI F1.5, and Friday for LSI F1, so feel free to join us then. See you.